When you were little, we bet there were times you wished you lived in a place like Bedrock, the Shire, or even in a galaxy far, far away. Years spent watching our favorite cartoons has left us with fond memories of our childhood and even a desire to relive those carefree days. Well, we may just have a solution for you. Apparently, there are a number of very real-life houses inspired by some of our favorite cartoons. As you'll see, whether strongly inspired or a direct representation, these homes are pretty incredible because they represent our favorite cartoon memories come to life. Speaking of childhood memories, do you remember those awful school tests you used to take? We have one for you, but we promise it's fun and it involves no grades. Just be sure to pay attention because we'll ask it during the video. Now, before you start checking your bank account to see if you can gather up a down payment for one of these homes, TheRichest cartoon real estate agency would like to ask that you hit that red subscribe button. We won't send you actual info on homes, but it will ensure that you don't miss out on any of our other great future videos. The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. These two related stories started out their lives as fantasy novels written by J.R.R. Tolkien. Today, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings are best known thanks to their respective big-budget trilogies. But did you know that long before the wildly popular Peter Jackson films, both of these stories were shown in cartoon form? That's right. In the late 1970s, animated versions were made for TV, and we think this got some house designers thinking. Simon Dale, for instance, gained worldwide fame when he and his family built a house that looked straight out of the Shire. Located in Wales, in addition to some definite sweet equity, this fantasy home only required a chainsaw, chisel, and hammer to build. If that sounds like too much work, Green Magic Homes will sell you a prefabricated Hobbit hovel. For as little as $15,000, you can have your very own one-bedroom house. Bump that up to around $70,000 and you get more than enough space to entertain all of your neighborhood trolls and elves. Of course, some assembly is required, but in no time, you can have your own house even Frodo would be jealous of. Just keep in mind, magic rings and white wizards are not included in the building kits. Hello Kitty. Looking around today, you could be forgiven if you thought the whole Hello Kitty fad was a relatively new development. You see, that little white Japanese cat with the red or pink bow in its hair has actually been around since the 1970s. It just wasn't until 2010 that this bit of Japanese pop culture took off in markets around the globe. Today, Hello Kitty can be found pretty much anywhere, from billboards and shirts to jewelry and credit cards. There have even been a few animated series with this famous cat, so it should come as no surprise that there is even a Hello Kitty themed house. Yes, for those who can't get enough hair bows and the color pink, this house is just for you. Located in Shanghai, China, there's no guessing what this place is all about when you see it from the outside. Inside, you'll find everything from Hello Kitty chairs and beds to wall decorations and cushions. Mealtime, as you'd expect, is all Hello Kitty thanks to the kitchen decor. Should you get lonely here, you can call your friends and family on the Hello Kitty phone. We could go on, but we think you get the idea. Barbie. When it comes to absolute giants in the toy world, it doesn't get much bigger than Barbie. Toy Stories have entire sections dedicated to this Mattel product, first launched in 1959. Over the last several decades, Barbie has gone through quite the transformation. While she may have started out as mostly a model, this iconic doll has since gone into outer space, cared for pets, reported the news, and even ran for political office. How she still finds time to drive her Corvette is beyond us. Barbie has also starred in a number of animated movies and cartoons. With all this exposure, it's unsurprising that a couple of her life-size dream houses were opened. Found in Florida and Berlin, these 10,000 square foot Barbie mansions are all part of the dream house experience created by Mattel. Think of it as Dollywood or Graceland, only with a lot more pink dresses and toy themes. In a definite case of life imitating art, visitors pretty much take on the role of Barbie or Ken as they navigate the large life-sized dollhouse. Unfortunately, these estates are not for sale to the public, so for now you'll just have to be content with tours and brief visits. Lego. You played with them as a kid, and you may have even winced in pain when you stepped on a piece or two with your bare feet. Yes, we're talking about Legos. These plastic building blocks have been around for generations. Today, however, Lego has gained incredible popularity with a string of movies, including the recent Batman film. However, over the last several years, the company's inspired a string of video games, such as Lego Star Wars, as well as animated shows. All of this has made the brand so popular that people will build anything from these tiny bricks, including a house. Enter James May. You may best know him as a former co-host of Top Gear and current co-host of The Grand Tour. Well, it turns out he also loves Lego so much he built a house from millions of the tiny bricks. The two-story creation came complete with furniture and even a Lego cat. Why the past tense? Well, when it came time to sell the house, May found no takers. Legoland was reportedly interested, but backed out when they found it would cost over $60,000 to disassemble, transport, and reassemble the home. In the end, it was simply demolished. Fairy tale homes. Our next cartoon-inspired house doesn't really come to us courtesy of any particular animated character or series. For this one, think generally of old children's cartoons or even the types of homes you'd see in a Looney Tunes story. You know the type, often drawn disproportionately with exaggerated lines which make the whole look rather unstable. Incredibly, you could recreate your very own cartoon village thanks to a company called The Rustic Way. You see, they build micro cottages which resemble something you'd see in a children's book or an older cartoon. With a narrow base, wide roof, and rickety chimney, these are the sorts of tiny dwellings you'd expect to see 3 pigs or a gingerbread man to call home. You won't find any fictional characters in these, however. Instead, these micro cabins can be customized with an array of features. The company can turn them into sleeping quarters, a sauna, a bathroom, or pretty much anything you'd like to have. The cost of these little homes starts at around $6,500. But that price doesn't include any witches, bears, or princes on white stallions. Who knows? Put a few of these up in the woods and just maybe you could start your own fairy tale village. Now that we have you in a cartoon frame of mind, it's time for our quiz. Which one of the cartoons mentioned in this video was originally intended for adult audiences? Don't get fooled, think about your answer as you take in these final 5 cartoon-inspired homes. The Simpsons. Of all the cartoon homes, probably none is more famous than the building found at 742 Evergreen Terrace. That's in Springfield, but we're still working on exactly which Springfield. Over the years, we've all tried to figure out exactly where the Simpson family lives. It turns out the house isn't actually in Springfield at all. You see, in 1997, Fox ran a competition where you could win a real-life, full-sized replica of Marge and Homer's house. Built in Henderson, Nevada, this $120,000 house recreated the original cartoon home to near perfection. In addition to replicating the interior and exterior to near cartoon specs, designers even added Bart's treehouse in the backyard and shingled the house with regular shingles instead of Spanish tiles. Unfortunately, the winner of the contest opted to take the money instead of the home. We're not sure exactly why, but it may have something to do with that annoying mustached neighbor next door. Today, the treehouse is gone and the bright mismatched colors have been painted over, but you can still tell it's a very special place. The Jetsons. Up until now, we've had houses that were influenced by cartoons, but what if we pulled the old switcheroo here and gave you an example of a house that influenced a cartoon? In 1962, George, Jane, and the rest of the Jetsons crew hit the airwaves. If you've seen the show, then you know this cartoon was set in a futuristic world with flying cars and strange-looking homes. The 1960s, however, were a time when American designers were pushing the limits of home construction and building some truly outrageous and iconic buildings. Take, for instance, this building known as the Chemosphere. If it looks familiar, that's because it's often used in Hollywood movies, including such hits as Charlie's Angels. Located in the Hollywood Hills, this futuristic building was actually used as inspiration by the artists and animators working on the Jetsons. Watch a few episodes and the use of the Chromosphere's design feature becomes pretty obvious. It's just too bad the real-life building doesn't come with a flying car, robot maid, and witty dog named Astro. The Flintstones. Building designers take inspiration from a number of things. Industrial objects, sci-fi stories, and designs found in nature are all perfect examples of this. One thing you may not consider as such an influential source for home design is the Stone Age. After all, we've all moved on from caves and primitive dwellings. Or have we? In the countryside of Hillsborough, California, is a home that seems like it's straight from a subdivision of a town named Bedrock. Built in the mid-1970s, the home is known as the Flintstone house to most people. It was built using the rather strange technique of molding concrete and metal reinforcing rods around large inflated balloons. As you can see, the end result, complete with unconventional openings, creates a home you'd expect someone named Fred and Wilma to live in. Originally, the home was painted all white, which definitely gave it more of a Flintstones feel. However, with its current bright colors, some have started calling this the Barbie Papa house, in reference to the strange-shaped creatures from the French 1970s cartoon of the same name. Regardless of its Flintstone or Barbie Papa background, I think we can all agree that this thing looks like it's straight out of a cartoon show. Up. While we've seen some pretty neat cartoon-inspired homes, those houses that are true replicas of cartoon dwellings are always very special to see. Building such houses in real life can't be that easy, as cartoon homes are often of strange design and incredible, unconventional colors. That didn't stop one firm in Utah when it came to building the iconic house from Disney Pixar's Up. That's right, the home that Carl and Ellie spent their lives in has a real-life version. Other than the industrial sprawl that surrounded the cartoon version, every aspect of this house has been reproduced with permission of Disney. The dimensions, the siding, the paint colors, it's all spot on. The home builder even included the same weather vane on the rooftop and mailbox out front. To make the home a little more appealing, the designer's only difference is that it included a basement and a garage. After all, while floating to our destination thanks to a giant bundle of balloons might be fun, we think sticking to a car is a bit more practical. Star Wars. We're pretty sure this bucket of bolts won't get you past any blockades, mostly because it's a house, and it's not a starship. That said, once you stare at this rather unconventional home for a bit and look at it from different angles, it definitely takes on a Millennium Falcon appearance. Appearing in numerous movies, cartoons, and video games, the Falcon is a ship any hardcore fan would love to call home. Along with the general design, the gray concrete interior and solar panels on the roof add greatly to a spaceship feel. Really, all you need is a Wookiee and a couple of droids, and you have yourself your very own childhood fantasy come true. Oh yes, you'll also need at least a few million spare dollars, because the last time this home went up for sale, bidding started at $1.7 million. As it turns out, this iconic spaceship house really is in a galaxy far, far away, also known as Australia. The whole Star Wars vibe of this home is enhanced even further by the fact that it's situated in the Dagobah-like rainforest found in far north Queensland. Although we're pretty sure there are no diminutive lightsaber-wielding Jedi Masters here. Okay, do you have an answer to our quiz? Which cartoon mentioned in our video was originally created for adult audiences? Time's up. If you answered the Flintstones, then you know your cartoon trivia. Created in the early 1960s, the Flintstones was meant to be an animated version of the Honeymooners. It turned out, however, the show was immensely popular with kids, and the rest is Stone Age history. For now, that's the end of our video, but you don't have to go. Stick around and see some of our other cartoon-related videos. For more real-life cartoon facts to strange things you never knew about your favorite characters, TheRichest has it all. Tell us about your favorite cartoons in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you're always up to date on our latest releases. Thanks, and bye-bye! Yabba dabba doo.